Valencia, Table of Contents.
Tour the cruise ports, Valencia.
Dr. Sydney Soclof. Dr. Sydney at earthlink.net. 2021.
Valencia.
Where is Valencia?
This shows the location of Valencia on the eastern Mediterranean coast of Spain.
Valencia is situated on the banks of the Tario River, on the eastern coast Spain, and fronting the Gulf of Valencia.
At the time of its founding by the Romans, Valencia stood on an island in the Tario River, 6.4 kilometers, or 4 miles from the sea.
Valencia is in the autonomous community of Valencia.
Here are the various regions of Spain. Malaga and Cadiz are in the region of Andalusia in the south of Spain.
Catalonia or Catalunya is in the northeast corner of Spain, next to Aragon, and just south of France. Valencia is on the Mediterranean coast just to the south of Catalonia.
Here are principal tourist areas in Spain. They are mostly along the Mediterranean coast. In the area of Malaga is the Costa del Sol, and near Cadiz on the Atlantic Ocean side is Costa de la Luz. Valencia is in the center of the Costa del Azahar region.
Here is the autonomous community or region of Valencia, with the city of Valencia as its principal city and capital.
Valencia is the third largest city in Spain after Madrid and Barcelona, with a population of about 810,000, making it the 15th most populous municipality in the European Union. The Valencia metropolitan area population is around 2 million.
Spain has 4 official languages: Castilian, Spanish, Catalan, Galician, and Basque. Castilian is the official language nationwide, and the other languages are official regionally.
Here is the distribution of languages spoken in Spain. Castilian Spanish 74%, Catalan 17%, Galician 7%, and Basque 2%.
Here are the regions where the languages are spoken. We see that Catalan is spoken in Catalunya in the region around Barcelona, as well as down much of the east coast of Spain including Valencia.
Galician is mainly confined to Galicia in northwestern Spain, and Basque is spoken in the region around Bilbao in the north of Spain.
Is Valencia a type of orange?
Yes. Valencia is indeed the name of an orange, but
the Valencia Orange is a sweet orange first hybridized by California pioneer agronomist and land developer William Wolfskill on his farm in Santa Ana in Southern California. Its name comes from the city of Valencia in Spain.
Valencia in Spain has been known throughout history for its sweet orange trees, originally from India.
This is the bandera, or flag, of the Comunidad Valenciana.
The port of Valencia is the 5th busiest container port in Europe, and the largest on the Mediterranean Sea, with a trade volume of 4 million container units, TEUs.
Valencia was founded as a Roman colony in 138 BC. The city is situated on the banks of the river Taria, on the east coast of the Iberian Peninsula, on the Gulf of Valencia of the Mediterranean Sea.
The historic center of Valencia is one of the largest in Spain. This heritage of ancient monuments, diverse scenic sites and cultural attractions, makes Valencia one of Spain's most popular tourist destinations for Spaniards and world travelers alike.
Valencia is in the area of the Costa del Azahar, or Orange Blossom Coast.
The Fallas is a traditional celebration held in commemoration of Saint Joseph in Valencia. The term Fallas refers to both the celebration and the monuments created during the celebration.
Each neighborhood of the city has an organized group of people, the Cathedral Fair, that works all year long holding fundraising parties and dinners, usually featuring the famous specialty paella. Each Cathedral Fair produces a construction known as a falla, which is eventually burned.
The name of the festival is the plural of the Valencian word falla. The word's derivation comes from the Latin word for torch, fax. A number of towns in the Valencian region have similar celebrations inspired by the original in Valencia.
Recommended video: Travel Valencia, Spain. The Fallas Festival in Valencia, 1 minute, 15 seconds.
The traditional Spanish dish, paella, originated in Valencia. It is a rice-based dish with seafood, chorizo, chicken, and spices, scented with saffron, and with as many variations as there are cooks.
The history of Valencia.
Roman soldiers founded Valencia in 135 BC.
Settlements such as Valencia were established and populated with Roman citizens to strengthen the Roman Empire's hold on newly subjugated regions. The settlers were often retired legionnaires and their families.
The original Latin name of the city was Valencia. The Latin pronunciation is Valencia, meaning strength or valor, the city being named according to the Roman practice of recognizing the valor of former Roman soldiers after a war.
The Roman historian Livy explains that the founding of Valencia in the 2nd century BC was due to the settling of the Roman soldiers who had fought against an Iberian rebel.
About 2,000 Roman colonists were settled there in 138 BC. This was a typically Roman city located in a strategic location near the Siana River island crossed by the Via Augusta, the imperial road which connected the province to Rome, the capital of the empire.
The center of the city was located in the present-day neighborhood of the Plaza de la Virgen. Here was the Forum and the crossing of the Cardo Maximus and the Decumanus Maximus, streets which still form the two main axes of the city.
Valencia is one of the oldest cities in Spain. Founded in the Roman period under the name Valencia Editanorum, on the site of a former Iberian town, by the river Taria, in the province of Editania.
Civil wars would occasionally break out between the empire's rival generals and factions. One such war erupted in 75 BC between General Quintus Sertorius, Rome's ruling authority in Hispania, and General Gnaeus Pompeius Magnus, or Pompey the Great. The citizens of Valencia supported the popular General Sertorius.
This would prove to be tragic. Pompey crushed the rebellion and turned his wrath upon Valencia. Those not slain were driven out or sold as slaves. Valencia was destroyed and left desolate for the next half-century.
This is the Iberian Peninsula in approximately 300 AD, showing in green the imperial province of Hispania Tarraconensis. Valencia was one of the principal cities of Tarraconensis province.
Tarraconensis was one of 3 Roman provinces in Hispania. It encompassed much of the Mediterranean coast of Spain along with the central plateau.
Southern Spain, the region now called Andalusia, was the province of Hispania Baetica. On the Atlantic west lay the province of Lusitania, partially coincident with modern-day Portugal.
In the 400s AD, the Roman Empire declined as the Germanic Visigoths marched in to fill the vacuum. Around 500 AD, the Visigoths briefly ruled large parts of what is now France and Spain.
With the Byzantine invasion of the southwestern Iberian Peninsula in 554, Valencia acquired strategic importance. After the expulsion of the Byzantines in 625, Visigothic military contingents were posted there.
By 625 AD, Muslim armies had crossed from North Africa and proceeded to conquer most of the Iberian Peninsula. The Muslims entered Valencia in 711 AD and changed the name to Valencia.
Moorish rule of Valencia was benevolent and enlightened. In one hand they brought the scimitar, while in the other they brought science, mathematics, medicines, spices, the previously unknown orange, as well as advanced farming and irrigation techniques.
The city had surrendered without a fight to the invading Moors, Berbers and Arabs, in 714 AD, and the Cathedral of St. Vincent was turned into a mosque.
When Islamic culture settled in, Valencia, then called Valencia, prospered from the 10th century, due to a booming trade in paper, silk, leather, ceramics, glass and silverwork.
The architectural legacy of this period is abundant in Valencia and can still be appreciated today in the remnants of the old city walls.
This is the Baños del Almirante bathhouse.
This is the Portal de Valdena Street.
This is the cathedral in the tower, El Miguelit or El Miguelit, which was the minaret of the old mosque.
Muslim Al-Andalus eventually disintegrated into numerous small states known as taifas, one of which was the Taifa of Valencia, which would exist from the 11th to the 13th century.
Valencia had a rebirth with the beginning of the Taifa of Valencia Kingdom in the 11th century. The town grew, and during the reign of Abdelaziz a new city wall was built, remains of which are preserved throughout the Old City, or Ciutat Vella, today.
The Castilian nobleman Rodrigo Díaz de Vivar, known as El Cid, wanted his own principality on the Mediterranean. He entered the province in command of a combined Christian and Moorish army and besieged the city beginning in 1092. After the siege ended in 1094, he had carved out his own fiefdom which he ruled until 1099.
In 1961, an epic historical drama film romanticized the life of the Christian Castilian knight Don Rodrigo Díaz de Vivar, called El Cid, who, in the 11th century, fought the Muslims, and ultimately contributed to the unification of Spain. The film starred Charlton Heston in the title role, and Sophia Loren as Dona Ximena.
Valencia remained in the hands of Christian troops until 1102, when the Almoravids retook the city and restored the Muslim religion.
The declining power of the Almoravids coincided with the rise of a new dynasty in North Africa, the Almohads, who seized control of the peninsula from the year 1145. The two Muslim dynasties would rule Valencia for more than a century.
Eventually, however, Muslim rule would be overthrown by Roman Catholic kings in La Reconquista, the Reconquest of Spain in 1238. King James I of Aragon, with his army of English, Germans, Italians, and French, rode triumphantly into Valencia.
50,000 Muslims were driven out. Through trade and commerce, over the next 200 years, Valencia would develop into one of the largest, most affluent and important cities in Europe.
Valencia entered a new historical stage in which a new society and a new language developed, forming the basis of the character of the Valencian people as they are known today.
King James incorporated city and territory into the newly formed Kingdom of Valencia, one of the kingdoms forming the Crown of Aragon.
King James permitted all people that lived in the city, Jews, Muslims, and Christians, to stay there and live as citizens of the kingdom. The Kingdom of Valencia had a population of 120,000 Muslims, 65,000 Christians and 2,000 Jews.
According to the Arab historian Hussein Mons of the University of Cairo, these were the words which King Zayed spoke to King James when he surrendered the keys to the city. In the city of Valencia live Muslims, the nobles of my people, along with Christians and Jews. I hope you continue to govern in the same harmony, all working and living together in this noble land. Here, during my reign, Easter processions went out and Christians professed their religion freely, as our Quran recognizes Christ and the Virgin. I hope you bestow the same treatment to the Muslims of Valencia.
The 15th century was a time of economic expansion, known as the Valencian Golden Age, in which culture and the arts flourished. Valencia became the most populous city in the Kingdom of Aragon.
Local industry, led by textile production, reached a great development, and a financial institution. Valencian bankers lent funds to Queen Isabella I of Castile for Columbus' voyage in 1492.
By 1500, Valencia became a commercial emporium that attracted merchants from all over Europe, and the Silk Exchange, La Naya de la Seda, building was erected.
This boom was reflected in the growth of artistic and cultural pursuits. Some of the most emblematic buildings of the city were built during this period.
In 1492, having had the title of Most Catholic King and Queen bestowed upon them by the Pope, Ferdinand and Isabella signed the Edict of Expulsion, the Alhambra decree expelling the Jews from Spain unless they converted to Roman Catholicism.
This Edict of Expulsion was part of the Spanish Inquisition, the last execution in Valencia to be carried out by Spanish inquisitors took place in 1826. Almost 400 years after it all began.
Valencia was one of the most influential cities on the Mediterranean in the 15th and 16th centuries. The first printing press on the Iberian Peninsula was located in Valencia. The first printed Bible in a Romance language, the Valencian Bible, was printed in Valencia circa 1478. But all copies were burned by the Inquisition.
In 1609 Valencia expelled the remaining Moors, who were the backbone of the agricultural workforce. Chaos and panic ensued as the economy crashed and near famine set in.
The expulsion in 1609 was of the Jews and the Moriscos. The Moriscos were descendants of the Muslim population that was forced to convert to Christianity under threat of exile from Ferdinand and Isabella in 1502.
From 1609 through 1614, the Spanish government systematically forced Moriscos to leave the kingdom for Muslim North Africa. They had been concentrated in the former Kingdom of Aragon, where they constituted a fifth of the population, and the Valencia area specifically, where they were roughly a third of the total population.
The decline of Valencia reached its nadir with the War of Spanish Succession, 1702 to 1709, that marked the end of the political and legal independence of the Kingdom of Valencia.
Valencia went through serious troubles in the mid-14th century. including the decimation of the population by the Black Death of 1348, and subsequent years of epidemics.
Following the discovery of the Americas, the exploitation of America was the exclusive domain of Castile. The Valencians, like the Catalans, Aragonese and Mallorcans, were prohibited from participation in the Atlantic commerce. Faced with this loss of business, Valencia suffered a severe economic crisis.
In the 19th century, Spain was embroiled in wars with France, Portugal or England in 1812. The French under Napoleon invaded Spain, and Valencia became the capital of the country.
King Ferdinand VII reclaimed Valencia for Spain in 1814.
In the early 20th century, Valencia became an industrialized city. The silk industry had disappeared, but there remained a large production of tanned hides and skins, wood, metals and foodstuffs, with substantial export of wine and citrus.
During and following the Spanish Civil War, 1936 to 1939, Valencia was the seat of a leftist communist-backed government. Valencia again paid a heavy price when the fascist forces of General Francisco Franco proved victorious.
The inevitable march to civil war and the combat in Madrid resulted in the removal of the capital of the Republic, and in November 1936, Valencia became the capital of Republican Spain.
In March 1939, Valencia surrendered, and the nationalist troops of General Francisco Franco entered the city.
After a long dictatorial rule, General Franco died in 1975. This led to the establishment of Spain's constitutional monarchy, and the popular reign of King Juan Carlos I. Since that time, once again, Valencia has slowly grown and prospered.
The post-war years were a time of hardship for Valencians. During Franco's regime, speaking or teaching Valencian was prohibited. In a significant reversal, it is now compulsory for every school child in Valencia to learn the language, which is a dialect of Catalonian.
Recommended video: Catalan versus Valencian, verb to be, 40 seconds.
With the advent of democracy in Spain, the ancient Kingdom of Valencia was established as a new autonomous entity, the Valencian Community, with the city of Valencia as its capital.
The economy began to recover in the early 1960s, and experienced explosive population growth through immigration spurred by the jobs created with the implementation of the major urban projects and infrastructure improvements.
Democracy has led to the recovery of the Valencian language and culture, and Valencia has experienced a surge in its cultural development.
During the 20th century, Valencia remained the third most populous city of Spain as its population tripled, rising from 214,000 inhabitants in 1900 to 740,000 in 2000. Valencia was also third in industrial and economic development.
Valenicia Sights.
Valencia Sights.
The cruise ship terminal is only a few miles, around 2.5 miles or 4 kilometers, from the center of town.
The busy port is an enjoyable walk from the city center. Some cruise lines offer shuttles from the port to the Plaza del Ayuntamiento in the center of Valencia. There are also plenty of taxis. Most ships stay a whole day. Around the cruise terminal are plenty of restaurants, bars and stores.
This is a map of the central part of Valencia showing some of the points of interest.
Here are some of the major points of interest in the city. all close together and an easy walking distance in the compact center of the city.
This is another map showing some points of interest in Valencia.
The Tarija River was diverted in the 1960s after severe flooding, and the old riverbed was turned into a picturesque sunken park, including the Tarija Gardens.
Other gardens in Valencia include the Jardín de Montfort Gardens, the Jardín Botánico, Botanical Gardens, and the Jardín de Real, Royal Gardens.
The Palau de la Música is adjacent to the Tarija Gardens, and the City of Arts and Sciences lies at one end.
The City of Arts and Sciences is famous throughout Spain as one of Valencia's most popular tourist destinations.
The futuristic City of Arts and Sciences, Ciutat de les Arts et les Sciences, is home to the Interactive Science Museum, the Hemispheric Planetarium, the Oceanographic Marine Park and Aquarium, and finally the Palau de les Arts Opera House.
The Ciutat de les Arts et les Sciences, the City of Arts and Sciences, is the most important modern tourist destination in the city of Valencia.
The project underwent the first stages of construction in 1996, and the finished city was inaugurated in 1998 with the opening of El Hemispheric.
El Oceanographic is the largest aquarium in Europe, with a variety of ocean environments.
From the Mediterranean, fish from the ocean and reef inhabitants, sharks, mackerel swarms, a dolphinarium, inhabitants of the polar regions, belugas, walruses, penguins, coastal inhabitants, sea lions, etc. El Oceanographic also exhibits smaller animals such as coral, jellyfish, sea anemones, etc.
The last great component of the City of Arts and Sciences, El Palau de les Arts Reina Sofia, was opened in 2005.
Palau de les Arts Reina Sofia is a flamboyant design opera and music house with 4 halls and a total area of 37,000 square meters, 400,000 square feet.
This is the interior of the Palau de les Arts Reina Sofia.
This is the futuristic-looking Palau de les Arts Reina Sofia.
El Museo de las Ciencias Príncipe Felipe is an interactive museum of science. The building resembles the skeleton of a whale.
The Museo de Prehistoria de Valencia exhibits archaeological materials from the Paleolithic period to the Visigothic period. It occupies part of the old Casa de la Beneficencia, built in 1841.
This is the Museo de Prehistoria de Valencia, Prehistory Museum of Valencia.
La Lanaya de la Seda, the Silk Market, was founded in 1483. Today it is a UNESCO World Heritage Site. The market is one of the finest and most beautiful examples of classic Gothic architecture to be found in Europe.
This shows the location of La Lanaya de la Seda, the Silk Market.
The Mercado Central is a beautifully designed, large, and colorful market that offers just about anything one can imagine.
The Mercado Central is an exciting place to explore and take in the sights and sounds of Valencia.
The Plaza de la Virgen contains the Basilica of the Virgin and the Tarija Fountain, and is a popular spot for locals and tourists. Around the corner is the Plaza de la Reina, with the Cathedral, orange trees, and many bars and restaurants.
The Plaza de la Virgen is located on the site of an earlier Roman forum. Today, with its refreshing fountain as the centerpiece, The plaza offers views of some of the most beautiful buildings in Valencia.
El Miguelit is the bell tower of the Cathedral of Valencia, an important landmark of the city, better known by the name of Tower Miguelit, or Tower Michelet.
The construction of El Miguelit began in 1381, and continued until 1429. El Miguelit bell tower rises over 51 meters, or 160 feet into the sky. To reach to the terrace is a climb of 207 steps.
This is a view of the cathedral showing the dome, Michelet bell tower, and the Basilica of Our Lady. The Valencia Cathedral was called Iglesia Mayor in the early days of the Reconquista.
The Valencia Cathedral is in the center of the ancient Roman city, where some believe the Temple of Diana once stood.
In the 15th century the dome was added, and the naves extended back of the choir, uniting the building to the tower and forming a main entrance.
The Tribunal de las Aguas, or Water Court, is a court dating from Moorish times, that hears and mediates in matters relating to irrigation water, and sits at noon every Thursday outside the Puerta de Apostoles, Portal of the Apostles.
This is the
Serranos Towers are a well-preserved, massive and inspiring defensive fortification that helped to protect Valencia beginning in the 1300s.
From the top of the Serranos Towers visitors have a great view of the city and the Tario River.
The Museo de Bellas Artes San Pio V is home to one of Spain's best art collections.
The Museo de Bellas Artes San Pio V houses works of such famous painters as Velázquez, El Greco, and Goya.
This is the Museo de Bellas Artes San Pio V, the Museum of Fine Arts.
The Iglesia Santos Juanos was constructed in the 1300s, and was one of the first churches in Valencia.
The interior dome of the sanctuary of Iglesia Santos Juanos is covered with beautiful frescoes.
The Iglesia San Juan del Hospital is another of Valencia's beautiful churches.
The Iglesia San Juan del Hospital was built in the mid-1200s, and houses a number of newly discovered historic murals.
The González Martí National Ceramics Museum was refurbished in the Rococo style in the mid-1700s. The museum is housed in a palace that dates back to the 1500s.
This González Martí National Ceramics Museum is home to a wonderful collection of ceramics and tiles, many of which were originally created in Spain's Royal Ceramics Factory.
The monastery of San Miguel de los Reyes is on the site of an older abbey, and dates back to the 1500s.
The monastery of San Miguel de los Reyes is a combination of Renaissance and Baroque styles.
Today, the beautiful monastery of San Miguel de los Reyes is home to Valencia's library.
The Instituto Valencia de Arte Moderno is home to one of Spain's best collections of modern art.
This shows the location of the Instituto Valencia de Arte Moderno.
This is the Instituto Valencia de Arte Moderno.
The Plaza de Toros is Valencia's bull ring, and is among Spain's largest.
Bullfighting is one of Spain's oldest and most deeply ingrained cultural traditions. It is considered an art rather than a sport.
The Bullfighting Museum, Museo Torre de Valencia, is next to the bullring in the center of Valencia. It is a small museum, but gives an interesting insight into this activity. which is deep-rooted in southern Spain.
The Iglesia Real Colegio del Corpus Christi is one of several notable parish churches in Valencia.
The largest plaza in Valencia is the Plaza del Ayuntamiento, or Plaza del Ayuntamiento.
The Plaza del Ayuntamiento, or Plaza del Ayuntamiento, is home to the City Hall Ayuntamiento on one side, and the Central Post Office, Edificio de Correos, on the other.
There is also a cinema and many restaurants and bars, and a large fountain. The plaza is triangular in shape, normally surrounded by flower vendors.
This is the Museo Valencia de Etnologia, the Valencian Museum of Ethnology, that shares the same building with the Museo de Prehistoria de Valencia at Correr de la Corona. 36.
The mission of Museo Valencia de Etnologia is to collect, research and exhibit the traditional and popular Valencian culture.
This Casa Museo de Blasco Ibáñez is the home and museum dedicated to the famous Valencian writer Blasco Ibáñez.
Among other works, Vicente Blasco Ibáñez wrote the 1916 novel, The Four Horsemen of the Apocalypse, which was later the basis of motion pictures in 1921, and in 1962.
The Museo Fair, Fallas Museum, has exhibits relating to the Fallas festivities.
This is the Museo de Historia de Valencia, or Museum of History of Valencia.
This is the Museo Valencia de la Ilustración y la Modernitat, or Valencian Museum of Enlightenment and Modernity.
This is the Museo Nacional de Cerámica y de las Artes Suntuarias Museo Nacional de Cerámica y Artes Sumptuaries González Martí, National Museum of Pottery and Sumptuary Arts González Martí.
Valencia's Hop-On, Hop-Off Tourist Bus offers the opportunity to see Valencia's highlights all in one trip. This is especially useful if you are only in Valencia for a short amount of time. The tour bus provides a way of getting around the city, while also providing commentary and information on history.
The Valencia Tourist Bus is an open-top bus service that goes to Valencia's main attractions.
With either the 24 or 48-hour ticket, there is access to the two comprehensive routes that pass by various monuments and tourist spots. You can get on or off at any of the 19 stops and explore the city at your leisure.
These are the stops on the red route, which is the Monuments Tour, or historic route.
These are the stops on the blue route, which is the Maritime Tour, or modern route. Note that some of these stops, shown in yellow, are also on the red route, allowing for transfer between the two routes.
Another hop-on, hop-off tour bus service is offered by the Valencia Bus Touristic.
The Valencia Bus Touristic offers two routes throughout the area.
The Valencia Bus Touristic also has an excursion to the Albufera Natural Park, including a boat ride, as well as to other places in the area.
The Albufera Valencia tourist bus route goes through the reserve, and there is commentary about the ecosystems around the rice fields and the lake. The tour also includes a 30-minute boat ride around the Albufera Lake.
Beyond Valencia.
The Albufera Nature Reserve is located in the famous rice-growing region of Valencia. The park consists of a large lagoon and wetlands. It is home to numerous migratory birds. Boat rentals are available to help visitors get deeper into the wetlands for close-up bird watching.
The Albufera is a saltwater lagoon and estuary which lies about 11 kilometers, 7 miles south of Valencia, and is one of the largest lakes in Spain.
Itatava is an old Spanish town that has hundreds of refreshing fountains
and a majestic medieval castle.
Itatava is about 25 miles, or 40 kilometers south of Valencia.
Requena is another medieval town close to Valencia.
Requena is in the wine-growing region. Here visitors can learn about the history of wine growing and sample some of the local favorites.
Requena is about 25 miles, or 40 kilometers west of Valencia.
El Sailor Beach is a beautiful setting about 3 miles outside of Valencia. The sand is soft and clean. The water is warm. And the pine groves and dunes add a nice touch to the natural surroundings.
Will it be hot? Or will it be very hot in Valencia?
Here are the average high and low temperatures in degrees Fahrenheit throughout the year in Valencia.
Here are the average high and low temperatures in degrees Celsius throughout the year in Valencia.
The rainfall in Valencia.
Here is the average rainfall in inches throughout the year in Valencia. The total yearly rainfall is 18 inches, or 45 centimeters.
Here is the average rainfall in millimeters throughout the year in Valencia.
Here is the average number of days per month with rainfall throughout the year in Valencia. We see that it rains about 3 to 4 days every month throughout the year.
Money in Spain.
€1 equals 1.22 US dollars, and $1 equals 0.82 euros.
€1 equals 1.22 US dollars, and $1 equals 0.82 euros.
€1 equals 1.22 US dollars, and $1 equals 0.82 euros.
Recommended video, Top 10 Things to Do in Valencia, 3 minutes, 40 seconds.
Recommended video, The Valencia, Spain Bucket List. 10 things to visit and experience, 5 minutes, 5 seconds.
Recommended video, Valencia, Spain Travel Guide, Must-See Attractions, 2 minutes, 19 seconds.
Recommended video, Valencia City, a first-class travel destination, 4 minutes, 38 seconds.
Valencia, Table of Contents,